Coming in from South Asia, where India has welcomed the agreement between the United States and Russia to hold a summit in Alaska on August the 15th. In a statement, the Foreign Ministry said the meeting offers more hope of ending the war in Ukraine and opening the door to peace. It quoted Prime Minister Narendra Modi's repeated message that this is not an era of war. India says it fully endorses the upcoming talks and is ready to support international efforts to resolve the conflict. We're now joined by Shruti Dasgupta, who's an international affairs expert. She joins us live from New Delhi. Shruti, what are your thoughts on Prime Minister Modi weighing in upon these talks on August the 5th, these direct talks in Alaska between the Russian president and his American counterpart, Trump?
Well, I look at it positively because if you notice, just before these statements, he has had a conversation with Putin. We've had Ajit Doval himself in Moscow talking to Putin and his team. So I understand that he has, probably India has played a larger role of bringing Putin to the table to talk with Trump and try and find a way out of this very, very long, 3-year-long war. I also know that India has not just now, even before, has always spoken about this very statement when he has said this is not the era of war, this is not the first time he said it. In every nation that he's visited, including the 5-nation tour he just completed before the G7 meeting, he said these very statements from every pulpit, every forum. So it basically means that we stand very firm with the fact that a war in such a scenario where every nation is very well armed would lead to a greater amount of human casualty and chaos. It also shows that India knows exactly what is happening behind the doors of power. They know what Putin wants. And if you have been following what Trump has been saying, he has he's very specifically stated that maybe Ukraine will have to trade off a little bit of their land to ensure that the peace comes. It is complicated, he has said, but which swatch of land is actually going to trade hands is not clear as of now. But it shows that Trump and Putin both have been talking to people, and probably someone more sensible than Zelensky himself, I'm sorry, but who want to make sure that the war, the NATO's war, comes to an end.
Yes, Shruti Dasgupta, thank you very much for your analysis and insight on that topic. We now move on and over to Europe, where in southern France a massive wildfire that began on Tuesday has spread across 16,000 hectares, killing 1 person and injuring almost 19 firefighters and 6 civilians, and also destroying dozens of homes. Regional Fire Chief Colonel Christophe Malgny said the blaze is contained but not under control, warning it will not be fully subdued before Sunday evening. All local roads have now reopened, but access to the wildfire zone remains restricted due to the risk of flare-ups. Let's see what Regional Fire Chief Colonel Christophe Malgny has to say.
Pronostic, nous on est sur chaque jour, chaque matin, chaque soir à faire le bilan. C'est pour ça qu'il y a ce point ce matin. On sait que la journée de demain va être une journée difficile, parce que les conditions météo sont réunies. Compte tenu de l'étendue de ce sinistre, je ne pense pas que dans tous les cas, avant dimanche soir, on puisse avoir une situation qui évolue sur le plan de la maîtrise. Voyez. Peut-être pas des semaines, mais en tout cas, voilà, jusqu'à dimanche soir, le feu.
In Greece, authorities are taking stock after wildfires swept through suburbs of Athens, forcing mass evacuations and killing at least 1 person. The blaze, among the worst in living memory, destroyed homes and businesses, with flames reaching 25 meters high. More than 700 firefighters, backed by aircraft and international assistance, battled the inferno before winds eased, leaving only scattered hotspots to be contained. This is what the local homeowner, Irina Becker, had to say.
Καήκαμε όλος καιρός εδώ πέρα, αβοήθητοι είμαστε, πυροσβεστικά δεν ήρθανε. Εδώ το σπίτι στο έλεος του Θεού. Και εγώ ήταν μόνο του έτσι. Τίποτα, καμία βοήθεια.
Meanwhile, in Spain, wildfires burned 650 hectares, prompting evacuations and disrupting train lines between Madrid and Oliva. Roads were closed as military emergency units joined firefighting operations. Much of southern Europe remains on high alert as an August heat wave fuels extreme wildfire risk across France, Spain and Greece. We're now joined by Desmond Majek-Odumni. He's an environmentalist and he joins us live from Lagos. Thank you very much, Desmond, for joining us here on the programme. We've seen a huge trend in heat waves in Europe, sparking these wildfires, particularly across southern Europe. What does this say about the current climate crisis, and why is it affecting Europe in particular?
Yes, well, each country, each continent seems to be having its turn. The fires are spreading. The fires have been predicted. And what we're getting from the reports, like the one in Greece, they said it's unprecedented. So it's not just Europe. It's also in America, in California. Oh, yes. And also in Arizona. The fire that's been burning there since the 4th of July is still less than 50% under control. It's burnt over 140,000 acres. And ironically, what happened in America on the 4th of July, they had an unprecedented flood in Texas that killed loads of people. And at the same time, this particular fire in Arizona was triggered by a lightning bolt on the 4th of July, America's Independence Day, when America is celebrating her independence. America who is now being led by a climate change denier. And all the scientists are telling us, at least 90% of them are telling us that this is a classic symptom of climate change. So from America to Asia, Africa, we've had ours, and now it's Europe's turn. It's like nature is telling humanity, wake up from your foolish slumber, because you must change your attitudes. It is your attitude and your unbridled lust for just making profit, no matter what the consequences, putting profit ahead of people and the planet, that is causing this. And the sad thing is it's going to get a lot worse. We just hope that we wake up in time so it won't get too much worse than what it is. Next year, the year after that, will still bring a lot of the effects of climate change. We've got to wake up to this reality and stop the pollution, stop the destruction of the forests and the green sources that are able to ameliorate this problem. It's time for change.
Yes, Desmond, thank you very much for joining us here on the programme and for your insight. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for this hour, but we will continue to bring you all